Hello, beautiful conscious creators. Happy New Year. I hope your 2024 is off to a great start. Today, we are going to be talking about the key themes of 2024 energetically and how to use these energies in support of living your highest life. So this is information that I channeled through Archangel Gabriel, who's one of my main guides. And he went through a whole bunch of different themes that we're going to be experiencing this year. And so I'm going to go through those themes, and then we're going to tie it in all together to show you how it is everything fits together in divine order to elevate all of humanity, and how these energies are really working for us. But the things that we need to be mindful of to to use these energies in the highest of ways. All right, so some of the key points, and I'm going old school. I'm using my notes here, so I'm going to be referring to them throughout here. So some of the key points are opportunity, and how do you want to use this opportunity? Now, opportunity can be lower frequency opportunity or higher frequency opportunities. There's going to be all kinds of choices for us this year. Another key theme is our strength and personal power. We're really going to come into seeing how strong it is we are, and the power of our personal power, and how we can use that to create. And through conscious creation, we're going to see the fruits of our labor much, much faster now, because everything is happening at such a fast rate. And I think we can all agree to that. So likewise, the fruits of our labor unfold much more quickly too in these energies. The third thing is unity and connection. That's also going to be a key theme for us. The importance of connection, the desire for connection, and valuing connection. The fourth theme is, and this is in no particular order of importance, but the fourth theme is intention. When we are intentional, this year is going to be very important to be intentional. It will see how much farther it'll take us on our journey. Much faster. We're going to get to our desired outcome. We're going to move ahead in our desires much more quickly. And then also the importance of taking risks, stepping out of our comfort zone, which is never comfortable for the human side of us. So the ego equals comfort zone. The higher self equals what's on the other side of the comfort zone or fear. So the risks / rewards that will present to us this year are going to be palpable. So when it is we take risks, we step out of our comfort zone, we are going to experience the rewards of that much, much faster, because risks and rewards equal new earth. Higher self equals new earth. Comfort zone, ego, old ways of doing things obviously equals old earth. So the energies now are really going to be prompting us, pushing us, nudging us to take the risk, to do the things it is that we've wanted to do, we've thought about doing, but we haven't. Or even like, if we get like our intuition starts speaking to us about, hey, this idea comes up, and we think about it, but we're like, oh no, I don't think I want to do that. That's not possible, or I can't do that, or that seems really scary to do that, really uncomfortable. That's exactly where it is. We are going to be nudged to go, because that is what's going to elevate our lives and our trajectory, and therefore all of humanity. All right, so those are some of the key themes. I'm just going to get into a little more detail on each one of them. So it's going to be a powerful year in many, many ways. It's going to be an uncomfortable year in many, many ways. But I'm going to go through some tools and stuff that'll help you move through the being uncomfortable, because we have to have tools in our back pocket that are a part of our daily lives that assist us in riding the wave of uncomfortability should that come up. And those tools, those daily practices, having that be a part of our lifestyle is what tempers uncomfortable situations or frustrating situations or things that feel difficult. When we practice those daily tools, then those situations aren't as bad and we move through them much more quickly, and they don't hold us back in the ways that they used to, and we move out of sometimes the feelings of being stuck it is that can come up. So all very, very important things. All right, so let's get started here. All right, what is the importance of intention? Because Archangel Gabriel said, the first thing that he said was be intentional. All right, with every choice it is that we make, we must be intentional. This is at the foundation for your decisions. So what he means by that is set some time aside to think about and feel into all the things it is that are important to you, and also the experiences it is that you want to bring into your life this year. Be very, very clear about that. And sometimes we don't take the time. It's like we don't know what it is we want. And that can really hold us back, especially with these energies where there's a lot of opportunity. So be clear on what your intentions are. Maybe this year you want to focus on having more fun. Maybe this year you want to focus on being more peaceful. Maybe this year you want to focus on your career or your work or connections, spending time with friends and family, bringing more joy into your life, whatever that may be. Have those intentions in place, excuse me, because it's those intentions that are going to be the foundation by which it is you make your decisions. So if your intentions are some of the things it is I just mentioned, or whatever they may be, you're making decisions that support those intentions. And that's how we stay on track, is by knowing what our intentions are. So be intentional with all it is that you do. So it's like make sure that you're intentional and that you are placing your attention on your intention. All right, that's going to be very, very important. It's like you're guiding your compass, your own internal compass. And if you start making choices that aren't aligned with what your intentions are, then you have that foundation to bring you back on track again. And you always know how to get back on track again because that foundation is there. It's important. We're going to get off track from time to time. But as long as if we hold that awareness of what our intentions are, that's going to be the trigger for us to be like, you know what? That's actually not what it is how it is I want to be spending my time, or where it is I want to lend my thoughts to, or where it is I want to lend my consciousness to, or what it is I want to be talking about. No, I want to have more joy in my life. So participating in these things aren't going to bring me that. I got to get back on track again and make different choices. And having the intention is going to also have the awareness. That's going to when we have awareness, then we know, we can be more intentional. All right. So the next thing that Archangel Gabriel said is that there's going to be scattered energy everywhere for us to choose from. And each energy is going to hold a different frequency. And that frequency, all those different frequencies will have a very different timeline. So timeline is just a reality that holds a vibrational frequency. All right, so different timelines can really take you off your path. All right, so that now the intentions, it's what's going to lay the foundation of your path. But with all these different scattered energies around you, some are going to support your path, some will take you off your path. That's why it's important, he said, to lay the foundation with your intentions. Now, with all of these different timelines, okay, if you're not intentional, these timelines can take you off your path very easily. And before you know it, you're going to find yourself in a reality that's not at all what you wanted for yourself. So that's why he was saying, be very intentional. Now, most of you have probably heard we're living on multidimensional Earth, right? The Earth holds different vibrational frequencies. Now, that's what makes it multidimensional. And so each one of those timelines that are now available to us, because we're living on multidimensional Earth, will bring in different experiences. That's what multidimensionality is. So, with everything happening now, we have more choices, which is wonderful, right? Choice equals freedom. But at the same time, you can be making choices that's going to take you off track into a timeline and a reality that doesn't feel good, that's not supportive of where it is you actually want to go and what it is your actual desires are. And so that's why we have to be very mindful. We have to be very aware, and our intentions help us to do that. So if you get thrown off kilter, off path, then you will be able to find if you're intentional, you'll be able to find your way back on track again, bring yourself back on your desired path much more quickly. All right, so now he was talking about how 2023 was, heavy duty dismantling. Actually, we've been doing that for a few years now. But 2023 too included a lot of dismantling of the old systems. And so he described, 3D, right, kept everything confined. When we weren't living on multi-dimensional new Earth, 3D, and 3D was our reality, right, of the lower dimensional frequencies. That dimension, that density kept everything confined, and it kept us, he described it as, it's like you're swimming in a confined cesspool with no way out. That's the life it is we had been living, and we didn't know it. So imagine the yuckiness and awfulness of what it would be like to be swimming in a cesspool, in a confined cesspool where it is you can't get out. You just keep going round and round and round in that cesspool. That's essentially what 3D is. So now with all of that being dismantled, right? Everything, it's like breaking a glass vase, or just a glass, right? If you break a glass vase and it falls to the floor, it shatters into a million different pieces, and each one of those shards of glass is a timeline, is an opportunity, is a choice, is an experience, is a reality. So that's what this year is going to look like. With all the dismantling we did last year, that's what this year looks like. Everything is falling to pieces. So it's energetic, really. It's like energetic shards of glass everywhere. So what he said was, because of that, we are going to be bombarded with choices. So he asked the question, what is your choice going to be? Are you going to choose this shard of glass or that shard of glass? Well, this one over here is nice and sparkly, but you know what? This one over here is going to take you way off your path, and you're going to find yourself in a situation that's making you unhappy, that doesn't feel good. And that's what the lower realms do. It's very sparkly, very glittery, because that's what 3D is in place to do. It's in place to capture your attention and capture your consciousness. So be mindful of the glitter. All that glitters is not gold. But this shard of glass over here, now this one, wow, this one's really going to support you. And this one's really going to be a catalyst to get you to all of your desires, to what it is you've been wanting, what it is you've been hoping for, what it is you've been desiring. So that's an example of how things can play out. But remember, it's all energetics, all right? So it's not going to be like something that you can see. It's going to be energetics. So if you have your intentions, you're going to be magnetically pulled towards this shard of glass versus this one, even though this one might be sparkly and glittery. This one over here is going to get you to where you want to go. And if you are holding that in here, that's the vibrational frequency that you're putting out there. So you're going to feel or see the choices, but you'll be magnetically pulled towards this one, because like attracts like. All right. So let's get to the next point that he brings up. He says, okay, if you hold those intentions and you think about those intentions, you feel those intentions, you remind yourself of those intentions, then the song that came to me is Nothing's Going to Stop Us Now. It is an old, I don't know if it's a Jefferson Starship song. I think it is. Anyways, you know that song, Nothing's Going to Stop Us Now? That's the song that he played for me. Nothing's going to stop us now. It doesn't matter what's going on in that outside world, that there's no holding us back. We are focused. We are intentional. Our attention is on our attention, and that's where it is we're heading. It does not matter what else is playing out in that outside world. It'll play out, and it'll play out how it needs to, but things are going to play out for you how it needs to too, through your conscious creation. That's what conscious creation is. All right, so that's what conscious creation is, being intentional, and you're creating from a conscious place. It's very different than creating from an unconscious place, or a place of fear, or a place of disempowerment, or from a place of victim consciousness. That's a very different creation than what it is we're talking about here. What it is we're talking about here says and guarantees nothing's going to stop us now. All right, so the other thing he talked about is if on a larger scale, all that other stuff is coming down in that outside world, and all the corruption and the unconscious systems that we've held in place through our choices and our consciousness, if on a larger scale, that's all coming down, then on an individual level, that's going to happen too. The unraveling of each person's illusion is going to happen also. Because remember, we are the ones that hold the templates inside here. We are the ones that hold that reality out there in place. And we do that through our choices. We do that through our creation. We do that through our consciousness. We do that through our awareness. So with all of that other stuff unraveling, all of the unconsciousness within ourselves has to unravel too, because we create from in here. Out there is a projection from what's in here. Okay, so if you are intentional, you'll always have a home base to come back to. So you may be thrown off kilter, he says, but you know how to get back home, and you are less likely to get swooped up in an unwanted timeline. And that is what self-mastery is about too. And that is what I've been doing a lot of practicing on, and it takes a great deal of awareness. I know it from my own experience. However, it can become much more easier the more we practice. Now I've noticed my awareness is pretty sharp, and it's like I can see my thoughts going off, and oh yeah, but this person said this. No, that's not where I want to be. I know what my intentions are. I'm bringing my thoughts back in alignment to where my intentions are. And then I'm right back on track again, and life is great. So that's what it is you're going to be called to do too. We all are going to be called to do. Now, if we aren't intentional, if we just kind of fly by the seat of our pants, boy, oh boy, will life feel chaotic. It's going to feel chaotic, because imagine, with all of this energy, all of this opportunity, if we don't have a home base, if we don't have daily practices, we are going to feel life is chaotic, because that outside world is chaotic, and it will pull us in more easily if we're just flying by the seat of our pants. That is the nature of 3D. That's how it's been held in place for so long. All right, so let's talk about people are going to be feeling lost, and they're not going to know which way is up. That's what Archangel Gabriel said, because a lot of people aren't living that way with awareness, with intentions, and the way it is we're talking about a lot. The old unconscious way of being is, you go with how life presents itself to you, and we don't understand, when we're unconscious, our part in it. We don't understand our capabilities. We're disconnected from our power. We're living from a disempowered place. And so for those who haven't woken up yet, or who don't have strong principles in place, they're going to feel very, very lost. Imagine if, you could be pulled in a million different directions. You would feel lost. You would feel chaos, and you wouldn't know which way is up. But that's not you, is it? And especially after this video, this is going to bring your attention to where it is it needs to be. Now, in terms of, this is very interesting, because this year is an 8-year, which will, it's the difference between the material world and the physical world, abundance or lack thereof. There's a lot of opportunity here in an 8-year for achievement and accomplishment and those kinds of things, which is all great. But a big focus of the number 8, and I'm not a numerologist, but the number 8 will present you with opportunities of abundance or feeling lack thereof. Now, it's not a surprise that things financially, the reins have tightened a bit for most of us, right? Where the cost of living is becoming more and more, and prices are going up. However, and so some people may feel like, well, wow, I'm not feeling abundant at all. But what that's going to do is there's going to be a change in understanding and perspective around abundance, how it is we perceive abundance, and how it is we define abundance. So now, instead of feeling abundant with how much it is we own or have in the bank account, for example, we start to shift and feel greater abundance through other things like connection with others. So, if let's just say we don't have as much disposable income, we're going to start redirecting our attention and our focus towards other things. And that's how higher consciousness works. It breaks us out of old patterns and it redefines our values. Well, in this year, that's what's going to be happening too. So it's going to redirect our attention and our focus, and we're going to start valuing different things. And one of those things is going to be connection. We're going to start feeling abundance through connection. So very different than the old ways where we might feel abundance through how much we have in our bank account. This is going to veer our attention towards other ways of feeling abundant, and connection will be one of them. Now, so people are going to be turning to each other more and more, needing connection, needing community and unity. And so this gets us out of our old world and operating and living in our own little world in silos. That's not what this time is about, moving forward. That's not what New Earth is. It's about community, unity, coming together, assisting, supporting, lifting each other up, encouraging one another, not competing, but encouraging each other. All right, so you can see how these things come into play in a very profound way. And that's the way things work with our universe. It points us in a new direction by redirecting our attention. So if we don't have, let's say, as much money, right, and we don't have as much disposable income because inflation is growing, then we start looking for abundance in different ways. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that profound? That's how our souls work. That's how our higher self works. That's how the universe works. Now, so again, we can see where this is leading us in our ascension. It's realigning our values and it's bringing in unity, Christed consciousness. That's how we bring in Christed consciousness and then embody it and then live it and then have appreciation for it. And that's who it is we become. So he says also, because of the chaos with the outside, our outside world and what can be our inside world, people are going to be seeking and searching and paying attention to where there is beauty in the world and in their world. All right, so they're going to be noticing different things, paying attention to different things it is that they wouldn't have otherwise, because we're creatures of habit, right? And so a lot of times we just stay in our old habits doing the same thing over and over again. And we find ourselves in the rat race of working the 9 to 5. And then, we're tired at the end of the day and we repeat the same thing again the next day. Well, when there's chaos out there and chaos in here, it breaks down our own internal systems. Everything falls apart within ourselves so that we can build a new system. And then that's what it is we project out into the world. And that's how it is our world changes. Well, we're going with chaos. That doesn't feel so good to live in, does it? Never feels good. And through chaos, we seek peace. We seek beauty. Like, oh my gosh, if all it is I'm hearing about when I turn on the news is what's going on in Congress and the fights that are going on there and nothing getting accomplished and the wars taking place overseas, that's chaos. So we're going to be wanting, desiring, where's the beauty in the world? I don't want chaos. I want beauty. I want to feel good again. I want to feel beauty. I want to see beauty. I want to experience beauty. That's going to help us stop and smell the roses, as they say. We're going to be looking for beauty in the world through a different lens. We're going to be putting on a different lens that says, you know what? I'm done with that chaos. I can't take it anymore. It's wearing me down. I'm going to filter my world now through beauty. And where is it? Wow, beauty is in that beautiful bluebird that I just saw land on that tree. Beauty is in, oh my gosh, my garden is blooming with the most beautiful colors. Beauty is going to be, wow, I was at the farmer's market and the person behind me said, I'll get that for her. Don't worry, enjoy those fruits and vegetables. I'm paying for it. Enjoy it now. Pay it forward. There you go. That's beauty. And guess what? That's happened to me at the farmer's market on multiple occasions now. It's amazing. So that's what's going to be happening. That's how we redirect our focus and attention. Now, because when it is we want relief, that's when we start creating change. So you can see the purpose of the chaos, the purpose that chaos serves in a very divine way. Now, Archangel Michael said, Gabriel. Archangel Michael's around too. Archangel Gabriel said, we need these uncomfortable times to leave us desiring more, requiring more in our own lives. What is it that you require from those around you? What is it that you require in your own life? Well, if we're just caught in the old habits, we're not desiring more. We're caught in the old habits. So uncomfortable times leaves us desiring more. I'm done with it. I'm fed up. That's when we know we're moving out old energy. I can't take this anymore. I need relief. This is way too uncomfortable. I don't feel good. This doesn't feel good. Something has got to change. When we get to that point, that's when it is we start creating change. So we need these very uncomfortable times to lead us to desiring more, wanting more for ourselves, and then going out and creating it by requiring more. I don't accept this anymore. This old relationship where, that person is just being inconsiderate, and I've stayed in this relationship for so long. I require more. Why? Because I am worth more. I am deserving more. And that's what I want for myself. And so I'm letting that old relationship go because I require more now. I require more for myself, which means I'm going to show up from my higher place. And therefore, I require more from you. And that's how it works. And that's why Archangel Gabriel said, we need these uncomfortable times. Now, from finding beauty in the world, we start to pay attention. Okay, when we want relief, we're searching for this beauty, right? He says, then we start to pay attention. We redirect our attention and desiring more of it. When we experience experience beauty when that person behind me said, you know what, I've got your fruits and vegetables today, enjoy them. Guess what that made me want to do? I did that for somebody else. I went to the juice stand, and there was a family. There was a father with his two boys, and the boys were saying, Dad, I want this juice and I want that juice. And the father saying, you know what? All right, give us these 3 juices. And I said, you know what? Enjoy it. I'm getting this for you today. And how happy that made me feel. I was like, oh my gosh, that made me so happy. The dad turned to me and said, really? Said, absolutely. So you see how that beauty begins to expand? It begins to expand. And so we redirect our attention, and the more beauty we experience, the more we want of it. The more we want of it, the more we create it. So he's saying it drives each of us to be that it drives each of us to be that beauty in the world that gives us relief. If we want beauty, we're going to be that beauty. If we want peace in the world, we're going to be that peace. So this is how everything shifts into a more, into the new earth. That's how it works. One person at a time, all of us collectively together. Now, he did say, this is going to be a tough year, and that's not to instill fear in anybody, but you can see where there's chaos, where there's tons of energy out there and experiences to be had. It's going to be bumpy. It's going to be tough. There's going to be a lot of things that we're going to be challenged with as humanity. Okay, there's going to be violence. There's going to be people whose lives are going to be, they're going to be losing their lives. There's going to be things that, look, anytime it is you get involved, deeply involved in any of the systems of old earth, be it the financial, be it the healthcare system, I mean, goodness gracious, just my experience alone, I can see how conscious it all has been. It's like, wow, this is something, I've had some experiences with dealing with healthcare this last year, and the more involved I get, the more I see how unconscious it's all been. And insurance, how unconscious it's all been. So anyways, with that said, we're going to be put into these systems and we're going to see what's happening in the outside world, the unconsciousness of it, and it's not going to feel good. It's going to be a difficult year on some levels, but if we have these practices in place, we're going to navigate from a much more empowered place and a place of strength. All right, so he says, do you want to be an observer, observing from love and compassion of what's going on out there? Or do you want to be a participant in what's going on out there and go down with the ship? And I've seen this happen. It's very easy for something like this to happen if you're not holding your awareness. So, for example, I've seen how people have been really invested in some of the violence and stuff that's going on in other places in the world. And, while it's helpful to have the awareness, it all starts right here. But if we're lending our consciousness to the anger and the frustration and all the other things that go along with that violence, and that's where it is we're participating and living our life from, then that's where it is we stay. And we're not serving anybody by doing that, but we are serving the world when we start to be the beauty in the world, when we're observing this stuff from love and compassion. So he's posing that question, do you want to be an observer or do you want to be a participant? Because that's what 3D will do. That's what it's designed to do, is to pull you down with it. So that's a very important question to ask yourself as things come up. All right. So he did say that people are going to feel like they're in a daze, that they can't believe what's happening and what's happened. And they're going to be asking themselves the question, how can this be? How is it possible that these things are taking place? And it is unbelievable. It is unbelievable that this is the world we're coming from. But what's unbelievable too is the world it is we are creating. So remember that. Remember that. All right. So all of this is going to be happening simultaneously. That's what multidimensionality is. You're going to have, the opportunity to feel successful and abundant, but you're also going to have the opportunity to feel the exact opposite of that. That's the lower realms side by side with the higher realms for you to choose from. All of this is happening simultaneously, all at once. All right, so that's, we're going to be, he said, we're going to be hit by things at all angles. Now, as light workers, for example, the people that are out here, let's say that your mission here is to live as light and to also do this as your work. This is a very important time for us. Why? Because he said it's incredibly important that we are intentional and we start building and getting our ducks in a row for 2025 with what it is we want to do with our work as light workers. I know some people don't like that word, but I'm using that word just to make a point because everybody knows what that word means. All right. So just for that purpose alone, this 2025 is going to be a very, very big year for us. So if you are thinking about starting your practice, or if you have a practice, really focus on where it is you want to take your practice, how it is you want to be of service and in service, where it is you want to go, how it is you want to show up, who it is you want your clients to be, and where it is you're going to be able to support them. Start really thinking about that, getting your ducks in a row this year, because 2025 is going to be very, very important. Why? The doors are really going to start to open for holistic work because people are going to, again, they're going to want relief, right, from the chaos it is that they're feeling. They're going to be fed up with the old systems, and they're going to want that fed upness is really going to open them up to new options, to new opportunities. Their willingness to try more things, to be open to more things, to bring in that relief is going to escalate, is going to elevate. And which is beautiful. That's what happens. When we want relief, just think about it. When you want relief, you get to a point where you're like, I will try anything. If this helps me, I'll do it. Whereas in earlier times, you may not have. Well, that's what this is building up towards and to. And it's very interesting because I was talking to a Chinese astrologer who was saying in Chinese astrology, this is what these years, what I'm describing, more beauty in the world, right? When I talked about that seeking out beauty, being beauty, living in beauty, being that beauty, and also holistic work, the desire for more holistic ways of doing that. Just in the way Archangel Gabriel is saying this year and next year is going to be very important for that. That's also what Chinese astrology says too. She's like, wow, that's amazing how it all comes together in different ways. So I'm getting my message from Archangel Gabriel. As a Chinese astrologer, she's following those protocols and we're all coming to the same place. So that's very, very interesting. Now, in conclusion, the theme for this next year for you and for me, for all of us, is to be bold, to take risks. Notice how I sat up like that? That's the energy that those words hold. Be bold, take risks, step out of your comfort zone. If you're getting nudged to do something, if a thought comes to you and you're like, yeah, that's an interesting thing. I'd like to try that. do it because you will be supported. That's what these energies are. It's about creation. Everything that is, anything that's in place to support New Earth, you will be supported and you will see the fruits of your labor just like that. Okay. I mean, at a much faster rate. Things are happening so quickly now, and it's time. Now is the time where we're building New Earth. Now is the time. So just as quickly as things are happening out there, they're going to be happening in here. When you take risks, when you step out of your comfort zone, when you are bold, you will be supported because that's what it is. We're being inspired to do. We're being called to do. That's what's needed for us to do. That's how we build New Earth. And so if you're part of that New Earth creation, you will be supported. Now, likewise, if you don't do it, if you make the choice where I'm supposed to do that, I'm feeling called to do that, but I'm choosing not to because I'm afraid, you will also feel the repercussions of that much faster. And that's how this all works. So the theme is be bold, take risks. When you do, your higher self is going to be waiting for you. Your higher self is on the other side of that fear. So cross into the unknown. That's where your higher self resides. Your higher self is already achieved everything it is that you desire. How beautiful is that? Now, I'm going to leave you with that. Be bold. Take risks. Step into the unknown and be delighted by what is waiting for you. Have your daily practices in place that keep you centered and balanced. Meditation. That should be a non-negotiable meditation. Spending time outdoors. Let the rays of the sun hit you. Spend time in nature. Look for the beauty that surrounds you. You will find it. You will want more. You will create it yourself. You will become it. And then you will share it with the world. So keep up your daily practices. Be very mindful of where your thoughts are. Be very aware. Sorry, a bird just hit the window. I've got to go check on him. Okay. With that said, I'm going to leave you on that. Have your daily practices in place. Be bold and take risks. Bye for now. Hope you found this to be helpful, and may you have the utmost amazing 2024.